going to be a reason why I got that album up here with me. By the time I start to get into the Camron topics, some of y'all are gonna catch it, and some of y'all just y'all memories ain't there, or maybe you wasn't there. Period. But there's a reason why I bought this album up here, so bear with me. What's good, y'all? We got some real interesting topics to get into today. I'm gonna save it for last, but I want to get into updates in regards to Little Ronnie, the artist that was unfortunately gunned down along with his 5-year-old daughter. I'm going to get into that last. We're going to talk about Drake giving a call to Adam 22 from the No Jumper podcast and trying to interrogate him about what's going on with this prior Wack 100 statements online. You know, that USB drive. What's on the drive, right? I want to get into that. And first, I'm going to, well, I shouldn't say first. And to start off, I'm going to get into Camron. You see in the title, it says, "Is Camron lying?" I'll get deep into those weeds when we get there. But let me start off by touching on something in battle rap prior. Okay. You see in my thumbnail, it says "talk too much." And I'm in the thumbnail, right? I put her on everything I love. That's related to the top. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot a topic. We're not skipping over the updates from Jay-Z and Jane Doe. Okay. So when I put that thumbnail together, that idea, you know, the whole talk too much is really centered around what's going on with Jay-Z and Jane Doe. You guys are going to understand more about that when we get there. Camron, trust me, you guys are going to get it when we get there. And Wack 100, one of the ultimate talks too much. You know what I'm saying? Now, talking too much coming from me might sound odd for anybody that's on the surface thinking about it, because you're like, you're a podcaster. Yeah, I'm a podcaster. Podcasters are here to talk, right? I'm obviously not talking about somebody that just talks for the sake of podcasting or making points or sharing opinions. I'm talking about speaking on things that shouldn't be spoken about publicly, obviously, unless you missed it. And while I'm there, it might as well also just have me touch on news that's in battle rap right now. So there's some pretty significant news that started going around heavily in the battle rap world yesterday. And those are still my peers, and I'm still very tapped in, and I still talk to all of those guys. I'm still very, very close to all those people. Yo, 40, I need you to hang around. Shout out to my nigga 40 Cal in the building. I need you to hang around for this whole stream, or at least the Camron piece, 40. And also, keep an eye out. Me and 40 was just texting about something. We might got something on the way for y'all, something fun. So keep an eye out. But 40, stay there, man. Shout out to my dips in the building, or my past dips in the building. But when it comes to battle rapping yesterday, right? I still know all these people. Um, a lot of them I've shaken their hands, I've broken bread with them, I've associated with them. I literally was on the phone yesterday with Charlie Clips for about 3 hours, just doing what we do, just because that's one of my closest people from the battle rap culture. Like, just talking about life, talking about family, talking about just battle rap. Like 3 hours with Charlie Clips. I'm still there. I just don't focus on battle rap for my podcast. I focused on this hip hop stuff that y'all see me talk about every morning. But I jumped in a space last night because about the stuff that's going on in battle rap, and I want to treat it with sensitivity and respect because I know these people, right? I jumped in a spaces last night because I heard somebody that I'm closely associated with and his brand. You know, this is somebody that I stick up for him, and he also sticks up for me, and I do the same for some of my other homies. Like, I'll get on here and I'll stick up for Show Off. I'll stick up for Rosenberg Raw. I'll stick up for QB. I'll stick up for Big K. I'll stick up for Ill Will. I'll stick up for Hitman. I'll stick up for Charlie Clips. These are people that, they're not battle rappers to me. They're not business to me. I stick up for them. And I heard somebody's brand and name within that group mentioned. And the reason why I felt like it was important and responsible for me to jump in that stream and say, yo, people, we shouldn't do that. And I know I'm talking to some regular civilians like myself, and I'm also talking to street niggas. And I felt it was important to say, when you got news like that going on somebody's name, don't just within 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours start including other people. It's not right to do. And ironically, I've been there before. Like everybody knows the situation that happened on my stage, right, with Big K. And what happens is people start to look at the associates as well, the friends as well, the supporters as well, the league owners as well, the people that book you as well, whether you're close to that person or not. And I happen to be very close to that person. I ain't even retracting that. Everybody knew I was taking them trips to jail and putting money on your books and running cat funds for you at my events and upholding his name. That was my nigga. That was my little nigga. That was my little youngin'. You know what I'm saying? But immediately allegations like that come out and they go, "Ooh, ARP, what you gonna do? Oh, ARP, did you know?" And I saw people doing that yesterday, and I jumped into a stream and I was just like, or a space, and I was like, "Yo, don't do that." You know what I'm saying? Like, don't start putting things directly or indirectly on other people. It's just not right to do. Whether you're a civilian, a street nigga, code, let that stuff all run its course and come out, but don't just put that on people. Okay. So there's one more thing about that I want to address from another part of a spaces that I heard. And I won't even say the names that was involved in this part of the discussion because I have a lot of respect for them. I fuck with them. And once again, I am battle rap. I still look at them as my peers. So there was a discussion, of when certain people have certain tags on them, you know, do you still perform certain type of business with them, right? And I heard somebody say, and I have respect for this person that says it. This is just, I'm just offering a difference of opinion as well as I don't want it to be an across the board thing. Somebody was very adamantly saying, shit, these league owners is business, and league owners going to do this and do that. That's not true. That is 1000% not true because I am a testament to that. I don't, I don't think that that's a correct message to put out. Okay. Everything is not to be interpreted as business is business. Now, there are certain league owners and certain people in the world where it's just like everything traces back to a dollar. And if you're just a regular civilian chasing down money and a businessman, that's fine, right? Like I think Adam 22 is is business content in front of everybody. I will sacrifice my own wife for content, literally as a porn star with another porn and all that type of stuff. Some people are like that. That's fine. That's their life. That's their choices. Other people, you don't have to be a street nigga to apply certain morals and principles or code and say, I just don't want to associate with certain things. Certain things to me don't fit my reputation. Certain things to me don't fit who I am. Certain things standing close to me, I feel is dangerous. So no, you can't blanket a statement and say, but these league owners is business is business. Hell, who cares about what's going on right now? Book that. That's when it's the hottest. Well, some league owners will, and some league owners don't believe in that. I'm a testament to that. Okay. There's a couple of these league owners I know ain't fit for that. I can pretty much pick out a couple just to throw some in the mix. I could say, no, Rem, I believe in certain situations is going to make this type of decision. Rem. Holla, as a league owner in certain type of situations, is going to make this type of decision. ARP in certain type of situations is going to make this type of decision. That league owner, that league owner, or that league owner, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about y'all. They don't give a fuck about how it looks for them. They don't give a fuck about none of that principle. I just need to laugh my way to the bank, and that is fine. But don't put everybody in the same boat. We are very, very different. And when people have those opinions, I see that how they would choose if they was in those shoes. And that's totally fine. But we are different. Okay. Now, all of that still is relevant to my thumbnail. Now let's get into the actual topic. I can start saying names now. And I withhold the names on the battle rap side just out of form of respect, because once again, those are my peers. And, I know a lot of those people. I know all of them pretty much. Right. So, all right, let's get into it. Camron, is Camron is Camron lying? I'm not reaching. All right, so let's put it up again. Why the fuck did I bring up Killer Season? Why? Anybody could guess? Chat. Can y'all start to guess why I got Killer Season? I saw a clip from Camron yesterday, and it sent me down a rabbit hole a little bit because you guys know me. My mind bounces around to references while I'm making points, and it happens just in my regular life as well. Like I'll listen to somebody, and then references just come into my mind, come from my memory. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on here with y'all, and I'll say, yeah, the same thing happened in the movie's Devil's Advocate, or this character for The Wire portrayed the same thing, or not. Like, this is what he rapped about 10 years ago on his album. I'm such a hip hop baby, and I was there for everything hip hop wise, and my memory is still sharp to a lot of these occurrences. So I watched this yesterday, just randomly, just hanging out on the internet, and it triggered some memories, right? So let's check this out. What was going on with me when I watched
And
this?
basically, I pulled up at a red light. Me and my bro Hud, God bless the dead. He didn't die that night. For those that didn't know, he passed away since then. Um, and we was at a red light, and a guy pulled up next to me and pulled a gun out, and he's waving the gun in my car. You know, a Lamborghini's low to the ground, so I thought it was an undercover police officer because it was so many people outside. It was, this is how a homecoming, the streets was packed. It was a lot of niggas. So I'm like, yo, Hud, you see this nigga waving a gun? And he's trying to open my door, but my doors is locked. But I didn't think nothing like this gotta be an undercover because a nigga waving a gun, uh, this brazen, so to speak, in front of this many people, it had to be undercover in my brain. So I said, Hud, look at this nigga waving the gun. What's up? So Hud, people who know my brother Hud, it wasn't funny, but the way he said it was funny. He's like, Gil, he called me Gil. He's like, Gil, you think you want to get out of here? Maybe. So I was like, word, because I didn't know if it's undercover or not. And for those people that know, I had the Gallardo at the time, the Lamborghini Gallardo. Once you stop for more than like a minute, the car goes into neutral automatically. So when I went to step on the gas, the car wasn't moving. And once I revved the gas, the nigga just started jumping in the car, shooting. And then I hit the paddle, got out of there, pulled off, basically.
Of course, we are all glad that Camron survived that situation. And early disclaimer, I guess I'll say, we love Camron over here. Camron is one of our greats. He's one of our goats. I would never want to see the butterfly effect of the hip hop timeline without Camron. We love Camron. I'm a big Camron supporter. I fuck with Camron. But here's the thing, and this is the Sorry Is True podcast, and this is why my memory was triggered. Camron also recently, this week, went on his podcast and he gave a hilarious behind the scenes story of Cat Williams punching a ex dip or a diplomat member in the face behind the scenes or whatever. And here's the thing. When we tune into Camron, when we watch him and Mace on It Is What It Is, or when we watch Cam solo with his, Talk with Fleet podcast, and he's going back in the day and he's telling us stories like the one he just told us, or he's telling us stories about Cat Williams stealing on somebody. I just want to be able to go to the people that I identify with, that I follow, that I fuck with, that I've been a part of this culture with all my life. I want to be able to believe them. I want to be able to keep credibility with some of our large voices and some of our huge representatives from hip hop. And as I'm listening to this story, I was just like, well, you just made yourself a liar, either from the past or from the present. And I was just like, I'm not the only person that is triggered here that can remember what you said about getting shot. You know what I'm saying? And I even missed one the other day when we were talking about his apology to Chad Ocho. I forgot to say one that kind of is cousins to this, as far as like, Cam, keep your integrity. You know what I'm saying? When he went on his initial rant, when he was just snapped on Chad Ocho, think about it. He was saying things in there very, very adamantly. He was just like, yo, I don't like you. I don't fuck with you. But, and I could look in his eyes and I could hear it in his tone. I believe him. Like, he like, I don't like this. I don't like him as a man. I don't fuck with Chad. But then on his apology video, because of all the feedback and the backlash that Cam got, by the time he gets to the end of that video, he's like, nah, it's all love. I love you, Chad. I fuck with you or whatever. I need to be able to watch these people and feel like what they're saying has credibility and consistency. So why did that story trigger me? And I'm just like, well, you either lied then or you're lying now. The problem is we didn't forget this. And this is why I brought up the Killer Season album. And shout out to my man 40 still in the chat. He reminded me that Yeah, he's on the intro of this album. Shout out to 40 in the chat. But I'm going to play this in pieces, and I'm going to play it sped up because it's music, and I don't want us to get flagged for playing music. But y'all remember this? Is it just me?
Before I set it off.
Pause. By the way, this is a classic diss track. Okay? Y'all catching up now? Y'all with me? Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. First off, you a bitch, nigga. Only reason I'm doing this.
Called you a bitch. Yo, this track was hard. Let's do our little pauses in between. Ironically, we're saying pause with a Harlem nigga, right?
Let me just name 5 reasons real quick. Got 150. Stole Rockefeller from Dame. Second.
You stole Rockefeller from Dame. And some people say, okay, all right, let's keep going.
You stole Kanye from Dame. Third.
You stole Kanye from Dame. Okay, I get it.
Stole Rockaway from Dame. Fourth.
Okay, you stole Rockaway from Dame. Okay, let's keep going.
I seen a nigga throw that diamond up before those shots was fired.
What? I seen that nigga throw that Rockefeller diamond up before the shots was fired. Shout out to my members in the building. Yes, classic. Absolutely.
Hold on, turn the beat off. I had to turn the beat off for this. You talking about you an 80s baby. You 37 years old. You was born in 1968. And I opened the Daily News. How's the king of New York rocking sandals with jeans? Open toe sandals with chancletas with jeans on. How's the king of New York rocking sandals with jeans and he's 42 years old? Back to business. You ain't the only one with big wallets. Got it, my shit's.
But yeah, should go to Chris Wallace. Max be on the hook with that, right? You gotta love it. All my niggas is coming straight from minimum wage. Dipset. Dips. That shit was tough. You kidding me? That was a classic mix track. Mix track. I was thinking mixtape and diss track at the same time. That was a classic diss track. But it keeps going. This is an article that was out, and I was like, I know there's just more that's still online about this. I'm not crazy. We just heard the song. We're done at that point. But this is a XXL article from 2017, 2005. In early hours of October 23rd, Camron was driving his blue 2006 Lamborghini down the streets of Washington, D.C. during Howard University's homecoming weekend. The rest of the Dipset crew in tow, not too far behind, when a man donning a bandana around his face allegedly throws up the rock sign, points his gun at Cam, and fires several shots. Okay. What else did I find that's still out there online? Remember when Cam got into it with Taxstone? Y'all remember this? Camron claps back at Taxstone for calling him a snitch. Taxstone was on Camron's ass for a second. Pause for you Harlem niggas. And last but not least, how about this one? How about Jay himself calling Cam a snitch? Remember this? No? Is it me? Nobody remembers this stuff, huh? Okay.
When he says or suggests somebody from Rockefeller shot him?
Of course. That's just criminal. Like suggesting that somebody from Rockefeller shot him. That's just like, that's snitching. That's like snitching. No, that's like straight snitching. I ain't even dry snitching. I thought that was dry snitching. I got to upgrade the definition. But for the record, we didn't shoot him. It's hard to shoot somebody while you do that. I don't know how you do that. Like, I just don't know how you do that.
Right.
That's gangster. That's like in the movies. It just don't happen. But like I said,
You gonna make a record coming back?
it's not anything that's urgent. Like I said, my statement is out there. Right? Gonna happen this track. But like I said, no, it doesn't warrant a response from me.
Actually, I said Jay-Z called him snitch. Nas did in that clip too. Now, we know that Cam and Jay, I'm about to get to this 40 shit in a second. We know that Cam and Jay have been into it for a long time. And you guys, if your memory isn't triggered in hip hop, if your memory isn't triggered about stuff like this that happened in the past, and you see comments that I'm pulling up and saying, damn, this is nostalgic, right? then fast forward, you get to places like 2024 and 2025, and you see Camron on It Is What It Is, and he does a show, and he's lashing out at Jay-Z, saying things like, yo, the hate towards Lil Wayne not performing in New Orleans, it's only coming from one place. We know who stopped it or whatnot. This is why people like me, I just be like, he's got motives there. You just can't convince me that, that's purely his just 1000% opinion. No, Cam and Jay have had issues for a very long time. You once upon a time blame Jay-Z for you getting shot. Okay. Also, when Dame promoted Cam and Jay-Z, remember he came home from vacation and all this type of shit. And he was like, wait, Dame, you gave Camron what? Fucking Rockefeller presidential position? No, stop all that. So Cam could look at it like you blocked me, you hated on me, you screwed. Yep. They've always had issues. They had issues over beats and production, like Jay-Z took a beat or something like that. They don't fuck with each other. Cam explains stories about when he got to Rock or Def Jam, whatever. He was kind of like on eggshells because now he's around Jay and everybody. He was trying to let go of the past and shake hands and get along with. They never fucked with each other. You know what I'm saying? He damn sure, after allegedly getting shot and having those type of statements, by the time it was time to make some music and got into the building, he damn sure was cordial then, right? So I'm just saying, if I'm going to be up here watching with my popcorn, pun intended, i.e. Mace, a Camron story where he's like, yo, so let me give y'all this wild story about, when a detective pulled up alongside of my car and and I thought it was a detective because everybody blah, 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 and started shooting and I pulled off. I just like my stories to come with some credibility. Don't have albums and articles and interviews with Jay-Z and Nas and all this type of shit. Like, the song is literally on your fucking album. Like, where is it? You Gotta Love It. Track 19 featuring Max B. It's on the album. Like, you fully contradict yourself. It's just like, once again, and okay, I guess an out to that could be, there's no way I'm going to tell that story today and then implicate somebody like Jay-Z again, saying that I saw somebody throw the rock up. Like, because then I'm dry snitching or snitching. They're going to kill me for that, especially in today's social media era. They're going to flame me for that. So I'm just going to alter the story. But once again, if I'm going to be watching you and I'm like, when I watch your Cat Williams story that you just did, do I got to look at it with a side eye and be like, is that part being replaced? Is that part not true? Keep your credibility, people. Keep your credibility, because when you say two totally different stories, we immediately, black and white, need to say you was either lying then or you're lying now. One or the other. My man 40 Cal says, FYI, what people don't know, that Trapped got Max B robbed by some dudes that claimed they was riding for the rock. That's a different story I might tell y'all later. Wow. So there was all types of shit happening behind that song, huh? He said that track, that song with Max B on the hook. So Max B got ran down on for that, huh? Well, we're going to get into some talk coming up about Jay-Z being a powerful person. So that's a perfect transition and segue. But if anybody thinks I'm tripping, then they just don't watch people change their stories. That's all I'm saying. But shout out to Cam. I swear to God, I fuck with Cam. I really, really fuck with Cam. If he drops an album, I'm buying it. I'm on it. I watch his show, I watch his podcast, we react to his stuff, and I really support the guy. But don't lie to me. Is all I'm saying. Okay. Keep your credibility as a man. Keep your credibility as a man first. Then keep your credibility as your legacy and your hip hop, what people actually look at you towards or as. And then keep it as a podcaster too, man, because we're watching you, man. We're watching the things you say. And when people click play on you, they assume your motives are going to be honest and truthful. Okay. What's going on with Jay, man? Speaking of Jay-Z and speaking of Jay-Z's power, fucking crazy, man. Good morning. All right. So we've heard the updates that Jay-Z, was not only suing Tony Busby, but is now also suing Jane Doe. And what did I say when we gave that update on the stream? I said, how does he sue Jane Doe? how do you sue a Jane Doe, a John Doe, a Jane Doe? There's like names that you use even for toe tags. Like, how do you sue a Jane Doe? Like, you don't have the name, you don't know who the person is. Do you sue Jane Doe by suing Tony Busby, saying that sooner or later Tony Busby's got to reveal the name because this was his client and this is their situation? Now, mind you, we all know that this got to a point where the allegations and the claims and the lawsuit against Jay-Z was dismissed without prejudice, meaning that it can't come back into court. Okay. Whether that was what they're trying to allege from Tony Busby and the Jane Doe side recently, that came from pressure and harassment from Jay-Z, or whether it was just Jay-Z's legal team playing all these Trump cards and doing press conferences and Jay-Z putting his power and his money to use and saying, hell no, we won't go. Or a combination of both. Okay, to be fair, who knows? But let's check this out. Jay-Z's PI, when we see PI, private investigator, okay, says Jane Doe admitted Jay-Z never awed her. Okay, all right. We kind of was already there. Jay-Z is revealing how he found out Jane Doe, our accuser, allegedly lied about his involvement and how attorney Tony Busby allegedly pushed her to sue anyway. A private investigator named, so this person, the PI is being named. A private investigator named Charlotte Henderson filed an affidavit Wednesday stating she met with Jane Doe on February 21st, 2025 in the anonymous woman's home in Alabama. And during the meeting, she claimed Busby pushed me to include Jay in a lawsuit. Stop right there. Stop right there. Jane Doe to us. Mary Susan B. Anthony to Jay, whatever. At her home, this person is known to the people that need to know who she is. Jay-Z and his team. They know her name. They know where she lives. And it sounds like somehow she even allowed and invited a private investigator into her home. Now, around this, we're now getting Jane Doe coming out and saying that she was kind of forced and harassed into dropping the suit. Okay. So I do have some questions there that still remains gray to me. Number one, her credibility is fucked up from that interview that she did. Her credibility is also fucked up from the way that Alex Spiro broke their shit down, from the crib to the timing to the person she said that was there that actually wasn't there, to them bringing up screenshots and footage of the award show, how it was locked off, how the limousine had access and all. Her credibility is even the bombshell, her father coming on record and saying, I don't remember that. Like, what? Your father don't remember you getting picked up? Because anyway, her credibility is already somewhere in the dumpster. You know what I'm saying? On the way to the landfill. Okay. But she's coming out now, her and Tony Busby, and they're saying, you know, we were harassed into this position. Now, and if you're Tony Busby and if you're Jane Doe, I guess it makes sense to go this route, because you're being sued by a billionaire over extortion, false claims, lost damages. He's saying he lost a deal for $20 million. These are big stakes at play. She's being sued by a billionaire. He's being sued, the lawyer, by a billionaire. So they got to come out with some defense. Oh, we got harassed into dropping our civil suit. Well, whether you did or you didn't, it's too late. It's already signed and sealed. It's dismissed without prejudice. But I'm not even going to try to play it like that, like, oh, who knows, who cares? Because I just talked about why her credibility and all the lies that she was already caught in. So it looks like this is just their defense. But here's the thing. If she's known as a name and her address is known to Jay-Z and you're able to send a PI, where do the boundaries of harassment come in is what I'm curious about. And legally, we're going to have to learn a little bit more about this as this continues to unfold. So number one, that statement just said that this interview or these questions were conducted inside the woman's home. I assume a PI is just like a vampire, right? You got to allow them in. Like, you see, I just did what I said my mind does, like real fast in the beginning of the stream. My brain just goes to references. Shout out to the Lost Boys. That's a classic. You got to invite them in, man. If you don't invite the vampire in, they can't come. All right, let me stop. I could even tie that to Vamp Life and Gypsy. All right, stop. Hey, RP, stop. I'm sick in the head, man. Maybe that's why I'm a decent podcaster. I'm sick in the head. But you invite this person. Look at the chat. look at my man Cat. It's a classic movie. My brain just does it so fast. I don't know. There's something wrong with me. Gemini Jason. I don't know. It's weird. I'm a weirdo. I'm sorry. It's weird. I went to Vamp Life at Jim Jones and Lost Boys and Vampires, and you got to invite him in because the PI was allowed. It's weird. I don't know. All right. Back on track. So back to the harassment thing. How do you allow the PI into your home to answer questions? I'll do it again right now. All jokes aside, the movie Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, the second one, right? One of the main characters, remember, he was a PI. He was hired by a rich woman. That's a crazy movie too. He was hired by a rich woman to follow around her husband to get proof if he was cheating. And he's on the roof, looking through the glass on the roof, and he's taking pictures of the husband cheating on his wife as a PI, right? Now that to me is full all out harassment. Like if you're that husband and whether you're right or wrong in what you're doing, you know, you got somebody following you around taking pictures of you, that to me is clear fucking harassment, right? Now, if that PI isn't on the roof snapping secretive pictures and they come and they knock on the door and they walk into the fucking room and they sit down, you offer them a fucking glass of water and you allow them to ask you questions about the litigation that you're in the middle of, the lawsuit that you're in the middle of, and you answer things like I was forced into it, whatever. I mean, come on, people. I'm not trying to say that there can be no liars or can be no exaggerations from either side, but this person was named Charlotte Henderson. A private investigator named Charlotte Henderson filed an affidavit Wednesday, right? This person is already filed an affidavit, is inserted in the case, is named, is on the record, can also now get your ass in trouble for any type of lying under oath and perjury and all that type of shit. Like this is bugged out to me. Once again, I understand the motives. If you're Tony Busby and the Jane Doe, like you're getting sued now. So you better put up some defense. But you're identified, your name, your home, and you allowed yourself to be interviewed by a private investigator. What are the lines of harassment here now? I don't know. Very, very weird. Something interesting to me and something that I think we need to pay attention to. Hopefully not a can of worms, but all right. Let me get that one down. That was just like a odd update to me coming out of the whole Jay-Z case that we're going to continue to follow. I'm interested in this type of stuff, and I know a lot of y'all are too because y'all DM me shit. All right, let's get to Drake, Wack 100, and Adam 22. So there's like some conspiracy theories flying around this, and I will mention them. I'm not going to say that I believe them. I'm going to always tell you when I think something's a stretch or when I think something is a reach, or also when I think that, that might have some legs to it. I'll let y'all know. But let's start off with Adam 22 on a recent podcast episode talking about a call that he received from Drake. All right, let's get into it.
Drake ain't feeling Wack 100. I'm going to stop beating.
And by the way, shout out to the homie Lush up there, man. That's the homie. Lush, what up, boy?
Around the bush. Drake, I eavesdropped. My boy Mellow Yellow is trying to question the gangsterism.
This is what happens when I listen to voice notes around Break Baby.
So who's bigger than Dot? There's only one person I can think of that's bigger than Dot.
I mean,
Think
they
it's the
say
what?
he's bigger than Dot, but
Think it's
you
the
already
what?
know. So Rake.
Yeah.
They say my boy Rake. Yeah.
Now, mind you, the internet and podcasters are getting to a point where they're masking names and masking terms. I assume that's why he said Rake like that, maybe trying to mask his name, remove, I guess, accountability or whatever. You're going to hear a hat in here. A hat they're referring to as a hit, as in like you put a hit on somebody. Okay, that's what they're going to say, a hat. Same way you're going to hear me say R instead of saying the whole word out. You hear people, instead of saying the R word, they say scrape these days too. Like that's what's happening on the internet. So when you hear hat people, that's where they don't be misled. Like what the hell are they talking about?
Drake ain't feeling Wack 100. I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. Drake, I eavesdropped. My boy Mellow Yellow is trying to question the gangsterism of Wack 100.
As long as you're going to put it out there, I'll decode it. I was tapped in with, had a nice conversation with the man himself, Drake. And he brought up a conversational point that was raised on this podcast that realistically didn't really get a resolution or we didn't get answers. The thing he was bringing up was the fact that at one point, Wack was holding a USB and basically saying that he had career-ending info about Drake. And so Drake did his due diligence, found out what it supposedly was. He doesn't seem worried at all about it.
Yeah.
But the accusation was that basically Wack had evidence of Drake ordering in a hat.
Trying to get a hat or two of them.
He was on the Lids online store trying to get a hat.
Yeah.
And Drake's question for me was just basically like, what was the plan there? What does a street dude do? Even if Wack did have that.
His exact words was, what was he going to turn it over? Because what else can you do as a street dude with that type of evidence? I mean, where is that going to end my career anywhere but?
I think it's a fair question
with
to
the
ask.
people. Like, what were you going to do?
All right, let's stop it there. Let's add some more context. So talking about a hat, a hit, whatever. So Adam 22 and Brick Baby are up here bringing that clearly into the conversation that is involved between Adam 22 and Drake, a hit. So let me get the conspiracy theory stuff off the table, or I should say out the way, right? The conspiracy theories that will continue to, at a light pace roll around the internet is that Top 5, who we already know is an extremely, extremely reckless person with his talk on the internet, right? Oh, we're gonna switch cheese. Call. I'm watching the Not Like Us video. I'm doing my homework, whatever. It's just not good to be talking the way that Top 5 talks while standing next to Drake in the midst of this Kendrick and Drake war, whatever, and it adds another layer to it based on what Top 5 just came home from, right? Alleged murder, right? So Top 5 talking the way that he talks online is just like who does this? But the streets do it now. And if the USB contains, or here's a conspiracy, anything about Drake allegedly coming from Top 5, putting a hat or a hit on somebody, and the only hit that has been alleged or been spoken about or theorized, right, has been XXX Tentacion. Okay. Now, I can damn near see Top 5. I'm not saying I heard this or I've seen this like literally. I mean, like I could see this in his character. I could see Top 5 having random conversations like, yeah, we got XXX out of here, or Drake got XX. I could see him saying that. True or not? Like I could almost see him saying that. And then it leads back to this, right? Now, let's go 3 for 3 as far as me saying talk too much, and then I'll draw that point to.
I see you got Top 5 up there.
Yeah, we got Top 5.
Drake need to get away from Top 5.
Why do you think he's bad news?
Bad news.
Why?
This is how much respect I got for you, Drake.
A hard drive, USB drive.
This is how much respect I have for you. I'm telling you, somebody listening, Drake, give me no troll on Pyro. You need to get away from that dude. This has been in existence about 90 days, and I have made sure it hasn't went anywhere. Personally, I think you know what I'm talking about. That dude with his mouth and the things he say does not support your career and as far as you come. I'm telling you as a brother, this is how much I got respect for you.
That's the red button.
And if you have something here, I'm gonna let you plug into it and look at it when we're done.
What is it?
You're gonna, of course, show it around. We don't need too much. We don't need too much else. Like, let's go 3 for 3. So when I say talk too much, Cam, as a podcaster, we're supposed to talk, but you talk too much when you're gonna trip over yourself on your own stories. All right. So we got him as far as like, why I don't troll y'all with my titles. I don't troll y'all with my thumbnails. You talk too much. You jammed yourself up there. the Jane Doe, you allowed a private investigator into your house and you answered questions to the Jay-Z's private investigator about why you put this claim on him for our allegations. Oh, you definitely talked to the wrong person, but you talked too much there in that case too. Wack 100. What the hell is going on here? There's so much I take from videos like that, and once again, it obviously had to draw some level of concern for, and holding this picture up here like this with Wack just holding the fucking USB is hilarious. Let's leave it right there. Drake has to have some level of concern to contact Adam 22 over it in the first place, right? Yo, man, what's on this USB? What's Wack talking about, right? Like, what's going on? You definitely don't contact Wack, Drake. Okay, Drake, I know you've made a lot of missteps, and had a lot of mistakes in this whole you being hated on or being, under the ground by a lot of people and fans over like the last year. Don't ever contact Wack 100. And if you speak to Wack 100, you already know at this point your phone calls recorded, your text messages are being screened, and it's all coming out at some point. Or it could even be used against you. This to me is a small form of extortion. Extortion comes in many different forms, people. When people hear extortion, they automatically think, hey, man, I'll be back next Friday. Have that bag for me. Have that bread for me. 10% of your income. It's not always that. Sometimes extortion could come in a friendly, manipulative way, and it could just be like, oh, I want a feature. You know what I'm saying? I want a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like they accuse Jay Prince Jr. of doing that a lot, right? Lean on you a little bit. I'm gonna provide you protection, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yo, do this walkthrough, take these pictures, be at my birthday, do this feature, be on my, I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying this is the type of stuff they get accused of, right? Extortion comes in many different forms. Sometimes you can be getting extorted and you won't even know it, because the manipulative Wack 100s of the world, they present it with words such as, the reason why this didn't come out is because I'm your brother to brother. Well, you realize that when we're in this world that very well of, Wack 100, where you got these things called feds and authorities and agents that scan and use and watch every single thing on the internet, right? You realize that you just made this public, that there's allegedly evidence in your possession about a possible Drake-related hat. That is now let's get off of extortion. That's dry fill in the blank. You just told the world for content. We got the content. You just told the world that you have incriminating evidence on Drake. If you were really being a brother, shoot the man a DM. Shoot the man a text, call the man, get in touch with one of his people, get in touch with him directly. Hey, man, I just want to let you know, man, something came across my desk. I have so much admiration and so much respect and so much love for you that I want to tell you about your boy Top 5. And I want to tell you about incriminating things that he said and things that's going around, man. And I even want to send you something. Do that. No, you went public for reasons. We got the content. You want it public, right? So that within itself is just like you expose the true nature of the intentions, okay? And then in the same interview, he says so easily, so fastly, hey, man, when this interview's over, I'm going to show it to you too, Adam. You're showing it to everybody. And he might be content over Wack. He might, once again, I'm going to sacrifice my wife for content. Right? And Wack and Adam 22 might be like kind of even when I don't know who's worse when it comes to like everything is content. You know what I'm saying? Not everything is content, people, but we got to spot them and got them and identify people's motives, right? So this is crazy to me of an allegation like this. And I'm not trying to give it those type of legs. I'm just trying to say that the clear interpretations of you guys masking words and talking about this, and then this old or this older video of Wack when he first brought it out and everything like that, you just put this stuff out in the universe, and then we all turn around. We wonder why the Kendrick fans say this and the Drake fans say that. We wonder why. Where is the Kendrick gossip or talk or accusations or USB drives. They don't come to us. But Adam 22 gonna cut that camera on and say, I got a call from Drake and it was about a hat. Right? And Wack is gonna cut on the camera. He's gonna say, I got a USB. Get away from top 5. He's gonna put you in jail. I'm protecting this from coming out. He did the same thing with Nipsey, right? I'm saying that I got this tape and I seen this tape and I'm protecting it from coming out. Seems familiar. Seems a little MO-ish. Wack. Oh. Yo, am I the only person that sees this shit? Like, these niggas is crazy, man. And then y'all wonder why I put that shit in my thumbnail. All right, let me get into this. Sad. I was going to talk about this when the news first came out. And because I didn't know the artist, to be honest, I never heard his music before, I left it alone. And I'm seeing more developments in it, and I'm seeing that it's an important topic, at least for the reason that people say women and kids, right? But we also got to remember, people, teach each other, keep this energy, teach our youngins. It's not just women and kids. You know who else always needs to be included in that bucket? Innocent. Period. Innocent. Okay, there's a lot of grimy ass women now. Shit. Allegedly, Asian Doll just fucking almost put a hit on Cash Doll, right? He can't protect all women. Some of these women is crazy, and that's allegedly. Shout out to Asian Doll and shout out to Cash Doll. But my mind just draws on examples. Kids, definitely more innocent than adult women, right? But what it really boils down to is, as far as the good or the innocent women, the good and the innocent kids, it really just boils down to the innocent. If you ain't got nothing to do with it, we don't want to see you wrapped up in it or get caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the important part of this story for me. And I shouldn't say that I'm not trying to imply that it's not important what happened to Little Ronnie, because I don't know Little Ronnie's situation. Okay, I pulled up a couple of his rap videos. He has a certain image. I'll say that respectfully. But at the same time, I will also add respectfully that your image in music and on camera doesn't necessarily mean that that's the energy that you're walking around the world with. So for all I know, he could be a great guy. For all I know, he could be opposite. I don't know, respectfully. I never heard of, I don't follow him. I don't know his music like that. I don't know his backstory. I don't know his history. I don't know his work, anything that happened with him in the streets. I don't know. So I will say one thing that we can probably bet our savings accounts on is that 5-year-old didn't deserve it, right? That 5-year-old didn't deserve it. And that's what elevates it for a lot of people, and definitely elevates it for me. And it's sad. It's real sad that. So I think there's a lot of people on the internet that are happy to see that the suspects are identified, and they are now being pursued by a manhunt. Okay.
And now we've identified the 2 cowards who took the lives of these innocent people. We have public enemy number 1, Adonis Robinson, who is also a registered sex offender. Public enemy number 2, Jacoby Russell, who's on the run. They're scared. They're cowards. They're hiding. We ask the public, please, you know where they're at? Let us know. At this time, I'll open up for any questions that we might have.
Look at this. So the youngin on the left he's born 3/22/2000. He's 25 years old. Youngin on the right, DOB 12/03/2003, which makes you 22 years old. Look, youngin on the right, he's barely developing his facial hair yet. It's just like lives ruined, lives lost, and lives ruined. Four in a matter of seconds. 4. Sad, man.
Have
any idea how these suspects knew the victims?
We do not know motive at this time, and we have no information on that part.
Chief, can you describe what you guys see in the surveillance video? Who was shot? Where are they shot? Where was this baby girl? When she was shot? And was she at all the intended target? Was she visible basically to the shooters?
So I specifically have not seen any other videos, so I cannot comment on where and who it was involved as far as the incident. And then we also have to remember that the Texas Rangers are our primary investigators, and we won't be speaking on behalf of what they have as far as evidence and documentation.
Can you at least say where the baby girl was located when she was shot?
She was in the car wash, specifically where we don't know. So that's part of the assistance that we received from the Tarrant County Sheriff's Department's crime scene. There, with their intelligence and their expertise and the scientific behind that, they will be able to place where our victims were based on shot placements and diagramming of the crime scene.
Are you saying that you're unable to say whether or not she was inside or outside of the vehicle?
Correct.
We've learned Forest Hill police are searching for 2 suspects tonight after a man and his daughter were shot and killed at a car wash. The father is known as Lil Ronnie in the North Texas music scene. He was using a vacuum at a car wash as his daughter waited in the car. And Sydney Percy just learned it appears police know who they're looking for right now.
This 30-year-old dad took his 5-year-old daughter to a car wash Monday morning, and it was there, according to police, that they were shot dead together.
We want some answers.
Stella Houston painfully identified her nephew, Ronnie Smith, a popular local rapper known as Lil Ronnie, and his daughter as the 2 people killed at a Slappy's car.
Damn, this ain't easy to watch, B. Like, I'm gonna take it down. Damn. Oof. I definitely am interested to hear. You see what they said at the presser, that no motive has been established yet. Of course, a motive doesn't matter in the loss of innocent lives, but I do want to know. I do want to hear about it. Like, it's just like what made this even remotely justifiable in your mind as the shooters? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? What were you at war? Are we gonna hear that Lil Ronnie did something to y'all, or Little Ronnie was involved with somebody? What is this, retaliation? Was this just beefing? Was this disagreement? Was this a fucking internet post? Like, I do want to hear the motive, you know, because we get these reminders like, yo, the devil exists. Like a 5-year-old child was lost, and how broad day and brazen that was to see the foot. I'm definitely not bringing it up here, but I saw the footage, and just like what even provokes you to do that to that man, whether you knew that 5-year-old was there or not? Like, what provoked you to do that to that man? And it's just a constant reminder to people that life is precious. And I never come on my podcast and provoke violence. Like if I do, I'm doing it on accident. I promise. Like, I don't provoke violence. I've seen too much. I've lived through too much. I can't. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna get at people and all that type of shit. But when you talk about the loss of life, I always want to put an energy out there like, yo, people, let's not invoke violence on each other. It's not just my community, all races, everybody. Let's not invoke violence on each other. If it has to go down, please go put some gloves on. If you can. I know shit get wicked and deep out there. Trust me, I'm not gonna speak too much. I know, but that right there is so extreme for the 5-year-old, for Lil Ronnie, and now for the 2 that's on the run, is about to serve life. You see, Jay said it's Texas, so for all we know, could end up on trial fighting the death penalty. It could end up being a loss of 4 lives in that case. Keep pushing the energy, people, of violence as a last resort. Please. This shit is just, the videos like that scare the shit out of me. And there's nothing wrong with fear, people. Fear will keep you sharp. It'll keep you on point. It'll keep you reminded that, it's out there. The world is the world. That footage scares the shit out of me when I watched it. Like, nightmarish. But okay, so I don't have any alignment into the thumbnail saying talk too much as to the last piece, right? As per little Ronnie and his daughter. But obviously Camron, obviously the Jane Doe being interviewed by a private investigator, and Wack 100 telling the internet that he's got some possible incriminating evidence on a USB that he's showing people as it pertains to a hat and Drake. A hat. I keep saying hat sarcastically. So based on that, let's come over and let's do a voting. Let's do a voting poll, people. This is crazy. Oh, as soon as I go to my YouTube landing page, Ransom got a new freestyle out called Neo. I gotta check Ransom out. Shout out to Ransom. All right, let's go to my channel, and we live right now. Let's go to the live chat, and let's get a new voting poll up. Let's get a new voting poll up. All right, the question is going to be, since the thumbnail says talk too much, whose talk was more damaging? We're gonna say Camron possibly lying. I said possibly to be nice. Nah, fuck, I can't be nice because the proof is there. It's black and white. Like, he lied. Like, he's lying from one of them, right? Camron lying. Jane Doe answering a PI, and once again, people, PI is private investigator, or Wack 100, Wack 100, showing, or actually, I should say, exposing USB drive, exposing USB drive, and you guys know the context around that. So there goes the voting poll. Let's see what y'all are gonna say. Let me come back to the stream chat for a second. I want to give you a shout out as well. I brought this up a second ago. Hey, Drizzy, man, says this dude has the best podcast on YouTube. Just my opinion. I want to say, when I see comments like this, it's such a bugged out mixed reaction that I have, right? I have a very honored reaction, first of all, because the YouTube has millions of content creators, right? And millions of streamers and millions of podcasters and millions of bloggers, right? So it's an honor to read shit like this. That's definitely one of my reactions when I see this type of stuff. But it also scares me a little bit. Reason why is because I do think that I'm good at the crafts that I choose to involve myself in. Whether it's the businesses I'm involved in, whether it's Rare Breed Entertainment, the timeline of battle rap shows what RBE means to battle rap or meant to battle rap. Or even me now as a podcaster. Like, I do watch some podcasters that were around for quite some time, and I'm not saying I over critique, but I look at some of the stuff and I'm like, he's not as good as me. Like, I'll give it 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I got friends, and I know sometimes you expect to hear it from your friends because they are supposed to be your closest and your most common supporters. But I got friends that tell me, like, yo, like, nigga, I don't just watch you every morning because I know you. Like, your shit is dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm very different. Like, you can tell the way I talk, the way my thoughts are formulated, the way we go through our streams. It's like, even if we have topics that there's a million podcasters talking about them, you can go over there for that. But if you come over here, it's different. Like, I'm just I have my own way. I don't just come up here and read an article and say, there goes the news, right? You get the person, and the person is a reflection of the differences of how it's presented streaming wise and podcaster wise, platform to platform. You need differences in the people. You can't just, I shouldn't say you can't, but I just would, me personally, I would never follow somebody that just goes, Camron this Jim Jones, y'all. I just want to make sure y'all know the update, and that's it. Like, where's the unique additives to that? Like what am I coming to you for then? Like yes, people knew some of the stuff that we're talking about before I went live this morning. They knew some of this stuff already from yesterday. Well, the Camron one, y'all didn't catch. I know that because none of y'all DM me or text me about it. But we see the Jay-Z headline. So we was already talking about the Drake thing on the No Jumper podcast, you know what I'm saying, from like yesterday. So why would I even watch it on the Sorry Shoe podcast? Because he offers something different. And that's what podcasters need to do. So this type of shit scares me because I just be like, yo, like I know I'm a brick by brick type of guy. I'm a stove cooker instead of a microwave cooker. So when I'm here 3 years or 5 years from now doing this podcast, like how spooky would it be? Like I'm gonna stay down though. Like y'all know me. Did I change for the 11 plus years that you knew me from RBE? Was I the same person to every fan, every supporter, every battle rapper, every aligned league owner? Was I not the same? Don't expect any different from me with pot. None of this type of shit ever can change me. I'm too set in my ways. I'm too who I am. You know what I'm saying? So you already witnessed that with me in RBE. The same mods and the same people I show love and all. It's going to be the same way 5 years from now when we're still here on the Sorry True podcast. That's just me. And y'all already have the proof. So I appreciate that, man. That shit is it's bugged out and it's also an honor to see. Let me come over to the voting poll. Whose talk was more damaging? Camron lying at 26%. Jane Doe answering a private investigator. That is crazy. Like, what the fuck was she doing? Her lawyer probably wants to hang her behind that. 56%. The clear winner over more than half the votes is Wack 100 exposing the USB drive, allegedly insinuating that Drake is on a drive with evidence pertaining to maybe a hat and maybe it's coming from Top 5. And you know what else, real quick subtopic that also shows us? It also shows us, with all seriousness, Drake, you are in the loop of people advising you about Top 5. Because if you called Adam 22 and say, hey, man, like, what's on that USB, man? And the USB was clearly brought to the public from Wack 100 saying, get away from Top 5. Look what I have. That shows that Drake is in the loop of allegations around his man, right? So Drake, you should, if that's your man, we just saw you recently, y'all pulling up together to the courtside basketball games and all that, right? You should be careful now that you're already in the loop behind the scenes and make sure you understand who you're with. I mean, we could already see online who you're with. That's why the whole internet is just like, what is this Top 5 guy doing? Drake, you can choose to ignore all that and say, this is still my guy. This is still my shirt off shorty, and he lives in Toronto, and he's got street credibility, and I'm still running around with him. Cool. But then what happens is we do streams like this. Wack 100 puts out USB drives like that. Let's say maybe he's telling the truth. Adam 22 puts out y'all conversations like that. And what happens is 6 months from now, if Top 5 gets investigated for, like, I'll just make up some shit, XXX Tentacion, if Top 5 gets investigated, right? And then everybody then turns to Drake, just like I started the stream by saying, like, somebody gets allegations on them, they turn to the person that you're with, or the bigger name, or the owner, or the voice, or the face. And they all turn to Drake because Top 5 ended up in something. And then Drake got to ask himself, what the fuck am I doing once again? So you can't get surprised in the future by this type of shit. And then we continue to question the Drake versus Kendrick fans that are so divided. Why do they seem to make such night and day different decisions? One seems to be tactical, one seems to be militant, one seems to be shadowy, one seems to be smart. One seems to be false at times. One seems to be stupid at times. One seems to be petty at times. One seems to be emotional. Like, I'm just saying, this is not the anti-Drake channel. I fuck with both of them. I'm just always going to call it as I see it. It just so happens that the ammo that Drake leaves on the table gets him shot. Kendrick don't put no ammo on the table for us. If he does, I'm going to talk about it. I promise. Kendrick won't be spared nothing over here, but he don't give us nothing other than quality shit. Somebody jump in the comments or the stream or the chat. Let me know if I'm lying. All right, let me make sure that the voting poll didn't change too crazy. Yeah, Camron is still, Camron and Jane Doe is closer now, 26 and 24%. So being that close, now it evened out, 25 and 25. Camron lying and Jane Doe answering a private investigator is now even for second place at 25%. Wack 100. Why does it say 25, 25, and 49? Yo, YouTube, fix your math. That's not possible. It's got 25, 25, and 49. Wack 100 is supposed to have his 1% there. Come on, don't short him. Don't short Wack 100 exposing the USB drive. YouTube, what's wrong with you? All right, very, very fun stream this morning, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And y'all remember, man, be careful letting them vampires in. We'll be back.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.